Hello, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to film my favorite watercolors, which I have put in this one small palette. I call it my faves palette, and this is a White Nights tin, but I personally don't use any White Nights paints. I just bought this tin for one very specific reason. It has 5 rows with metal clips where you can put your pans and half pans, which means there is no wasted space in the tin. And I've tried a tin palette from Schminke, from Roman Szmal, and all of them have fewer spaces to put your pans in. This is why I like this one, and I actually have like 2 of them, but this one houses all of my favorite ever watercolor pigments and colors and paints. So if you're interested in seeing swatches of my favorite colors, please keep on watching. First of all, I decorated the top. It was just this lilac color. I painted it with acrylic gouache to make it a bit more special. And today I will be swatching on harsh watercolor paper. And you might think, oh no, swatching on such expensive paper, that's a waste of paper. But actually, I don't really like this paper. So if I can use it to make high quality swatches for myself, I think that's a great way to use it. So why not? And to make the swatches, I will be using, actually not the Roman Szmal one, I will be using this brush from Da Vinci and Rabi Alieva set, and they came out with a collaboration set, and they have a detail brush with hairs that keep more water in it, and they also have this mop quill brush, and I actually really like it a lot. So let me spray the paints with regular water, not because they don't re-wet well, just because it will save me some time and make everything easier. So I already have all of the pigment info in my palette, but maybe I can write it again here. So here are my favorite colors. First, we have Buff Titanium from Roman Szmal, and before I tried it, I never thought I would like this color. It's muddy, it's dirty, it's like, it's not even a color, right? But then when I tried it, it's so amazing in mixes. It creates the most beautiful toned down colors, and it's so useful. I really like it. Next, oh, and by the way, Buff Titanium is from Roman Szmal. It's pigment PW6:1. It's granulating and it's semi-transparent. And now I'm swatching Hansa Yellow Medium because you need a yellow in your palette to mix nice greens, oranges, make the pinks and reds warmer. And this is a non-offensive yellow to me because I'm not a big fan of yellow. So I just have basically one primary basic yellow in my palette, and it's Hansa Yellow Medium from Roman Szmal. It's paint number 203, semi-transparent, and pigment PY3. Next up, maybe let's wet the paper first. Next up, I have an orange color, and this is Aquarius Orange from the Roman Szmal range. Oh. I really don't like this arch paper. I know it's supposed to be like top of the line, top tier paper, and yeah, it's fine, but it's definitely not my favorite. So Aquarius Orange, pigment is unknown. The paint number is 354, and it's I think Winsor & Newton have this color as well, and I honestly don't know why the pigment is unknown. Maybe it's some kind of rare pigment that isn't classified yet. Next up, I have a color from Winsor & Newton Professional. As you can see, it's very transparent, very low strength of the color of the pigment, but it's so lovely. So this color is Rose d'Or. I suppose it means golden rose. It's transparent. It's made of pigment yellow 19 and pigment yellow 97. And I really like this color for flowers, for skin tones and blush. Oh, it's beautiful. Next, it's Cadmium Yellow Light. And this Cadmium Yellow Light, which is on my palette, is by Schminke Horadam. A fellow Instagrammer used Cadmium Yellow Light a lot, and excuse me, and inspired me to try this color. And it's just like classical red to me. So beautiful, so strong. This is an opaque color. The pigment is PR108, and I feel like this is my basic red. Next up, another color from Roman Szmal. I love this color so much. So this color is Quinacridone Cherry Red by Roman Szmal. Paint number is 329. They say it's medium granulating, transparent, and it's made of pigment PR209. And I love it for how unique it is. It's pink red, it's coral pink, it's so yummy. It's such a beautiful color, just you need to have it. Next up, I wanted to have a deeper, darker red, and have a look at this one. See, something's wrong with the paper here. So in my search for a deep, intense red, I found and fell in love with this one. This is Pyrrole Rubine from Roman Szmal, paint number 328, and it's made out of pigment PR264. And it's such an intense, gorgeous color. Next up, a red that's a little bit unique. This color is called Venetian Red. Should I fit 3? Maybe not. Let's try and fit 3 columns in here. So this color is a Venetian Red. It's also by Roman Szmal. It's paint number 121, and pigment is PR102. It's semi-transparent. It isn't labeled as a granulating color, but honestly I think it's like medium granulating. And why is this color on my palette? Well, I started to find the pictures I draw a bit garish, like too bright, too colorful, everything too strong, too intense. And Venetian Red, for me, was the way to tone everything down, to bring it down a little, to make it more natural, more soothing, more pleasing to the eye. And I use it in skin mixes, for hair. It can be used as a red, can be used as a brown. It's just a very versatile and a beautiful color. And next up, I swatched here a Potter's Pink, also from Roman Szmal. Maybe you can see, highly granulating color. This is number 359. Granulating, semi-transparent, and it's made of pigment red 233, so typical Potter's Pink. And as it dries, I think we will see more granulation happening. So these are my oranges and reds, and now let's continue on to purples and violets. I will swatch it a little bit out of order. Okie dokie. So if you might have noticed that I have quite a few cobalt colors on my palette, and that's because I really like them. I like cobalts, especially obviously cobalt blue, but I find that other cobalt pigments are also to my liking, right? And I like using them. So this one is Cobalt Violet Light. It's paint number 403, granulating, semi-transparent, made of pigment PV49. And right next to it, I've got Cobalt Violet Deep. So it's made of a different pigment. This one is PV14. It's also granulating, also semi-transparent. And a very unique, interesting color. It's not very strong, neither is the Cobalt Violet Light, but I like them for creating a mood, and they are great in mixes actually. You can create granulating mixes with those two. Next up, a classic from Roman Szmal. This is Mineral Violet. And I know many people love this color. It's granulating, it's separating. If you apply it with a lot of water, you get this beautiful color separation. So I will do my best to swatch it in a way that will highlight its unique properties. I really love this color. It was like one of the first Roman Szmal colors I tried, and I was blown away by how unique and special it is. And Mineral Violet is made of two pigments, PB29 and PV19. It's transparent and granulating. Shall we drop some water in there? Let's go. Boom. And boom. Maybe here as well. All right. Next up, some quinacridone colors from Roman Szmal. I also enjoy quinacridone colors a lot. This one is quinacridone purple. It's paint number 366, semi-transparent, made of pigment PV55. And I just really like pinks and purples and violets. I was wondering whether I should put quinacridone purple or quinacridone, what's the other one called? Violet, I guess. But I went with this one and I don't regret it. It's PV55, beautiful color. And next up, a classic quinacridone magenta. It's paint number 332. It's marked as transparent and it's made of pigment PR, pigment red, 122. Oop, why is this swatch that much bigger? Sorry, miscalculated. Oops, sorry, it was out of camera, out of the frame. Okay. So this one here is quinacridone purple from Roman Szmal, and this one is quinacridone magenta from Roman Szmal. And I think I will swatch the next color right next to magenta because they're in the same color family. If you know me, you know that for some strange reason I love very bright neon paints, even though like I'm basically almost always dressed in black. I like very simple clothing. My house interior is kind of minimalistic. I'm not one of those maximalist Gen Z aesthetic people, not at all. But for some reason, just neon paints speak to me, you know? I really like them. And this is Opera Pink from Schminke. It's a mix of PR122, so quinacridone magenta, and some fluorescent pigments. It's not light fast at all, but I still love it. It's so useful. It's so beautiful. Just looking at it makes me happy, and for me this is a reason enough to have it on my palette. Next up, I have a half pan of titanium white. I think this is also from Schminke, but I will not swatch it because it's just white, not very exciting. So maybe let's skip a row for now and swatch the Moody dark colors, okay? So next up, we will be swatching Misty Morning by Roman Szmal. And I think I have all of the shadow violet type colors from their offer. It's hard to pick one actually. They are all kind of unique, different, and very special. And Misty Morning, not only does it granulate, but it also separates into this green, blue and pink. And I hope we will be able to see this effect here in my swatch. It's a truly gorgeous color. You can already see some pink coming through. Okay. I will drop some water in it in a moment. For now, I will let it do its magic. So Misty Morning is 415. It's granulating, semi-transparent, and made of PG50, which is a cobalt pigment. This one, cobalt teal, and PV19, which I have, well, here in this mix as well, right? Can you see what just happened? When I drop water, the paint starts separating, and the blue teal pigment is staying in place, while the pink pigment is, I imagine, is lighter, so it keeps moving. And next up in my Moody colors, I picked Shadow Violet. Shadow Violet to be in my palette. And I also have and love Shadow Violet Light. But I thought it would be too much if I just put all of them here. I also have Przybysz Grey, which is the famous impossible to pronounce color from Roman Szmal, but it's just the surname Przybysz, and the paint is named after the artist. So while I have Misty Morning, the Shadow Violet Light, Shadow Violet, and Przybysz Grey, I decided to put just Misty Morning and Shadow Violet in this favorites palette, even though I kind of miss Przybysz Grey. Next up I will be swatching Moonlight by Daniel Smith, and I think once I run out of the tube paint I have squeezed in here, I will just replace it with Przybysz Grey, because to me Moonlight and Przybysz Grey are very similar to each other, but I like Przybysz Grey better maybe. First of all, it's more affordable to me. It's easily available in Poland because it's Roman Szmal. And second of all, I know that Moonlight is not very light fast. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you what the pigments for Shadow Violet are. Let me fix that. So this one here, Shadow Violet, is made from 3 pigments. PG50 again, so cobalt steel, PB29 and PV19. So it's a similar mixture to Misty Morning, except they added 1 extra pigment, and I hope you can see what's been happening here. Misty Morning is doing its job, it's performing brilliantly. Look at all this color separation. Mineral Violet has also separated. It's absolutely beautiful. And let's see how Moonlight and Shadow Violet dry. Let me take off excess water. Yeah, we talked about pigments in Shadow Violet. It's granulating, semi-transparent. And now moving on to Moonlight. Moonlight is made up of PG18, PB29 and PR177. And next up in my Moody colors, I just have a very universal Payne's Gray. I thought about maybe putting a neutral tint in here, but personally I just like Payne's Gray better. It's a moody bluish gray. Very inky. It can be diluted to this light gray color, which can be used in skies and so on. But in mass tone, when it's applied very thickly and opaquely, it's almost black. It's a very stunning color. And it's a non-granulating, semi-opaque, and made of 3 pigments: PB29, pigment brown 7 and pigment violet 19. So I don't know, maybe I have some kind of tendency to like PV19 since I have it in so many colors. And we have 2 spots left. How about we swatch the blacks? I actually have 2 blacks, which is very surprising to me. I surprised myself putting 2 blacks here. So first one is Aquarius Black. And Aquarius Black from Roman Szmal is a very granulating color. It's semi-transparent, made of PBK 11. It's highly granulating. I could put more to make it darker, but like that's not the actual nature of this color. It's very granulating, not very opaque, so it's great for adding texture. While the second black, the Mars Black, also from Roman Szmal, also made from PBK 11, also granulating. However, this time it's opaque. Is a different kind of black. See? Of course I could use add more paint and make Aquarius black darker, but this is why I have two different blacks, because one of them is this very transparent, very granulating affair, and this one is more of a traditional black, which, to be honest, I don't use all that often, but I still like having it on my palette. And let's have a look at the colors. Mineral Violet is looking amazing. Also Misty Morning. I don't know if you can see, but Shadow Violet is also separating. I can see some purple here and here. I can see some green popping through. Now it looks better. And it's such a beautiful color. This is Moonlight from Daniel Smith. It reminds me so much of Przybysz Grey, Payne's Grey, Aquarius Black and Mars Black. Maybe in Mars Black, since it's supposed to be opaque, we can add a little bit more. Yeah. So most of the colors are dry except for the rose door here. I think I will help it out a little bit. And I will change my water and come back to swatch the blues and greens and earth colors. Alright, welcome back after a short break. I have fresh water. The previous swatches are drying over there. And we have some more colors to go through. I have skipped over the whole row of greens and blues, and then we have some earth colors here. So let me show you what I have in my favorites palette. So like, first of all, some of you might be surprised to see cobalt teal and cobalt sea blue, but I just couldn't pick. It's like picking your favorite child, you know? Each one is unique and annoys you in a different way. So this one here is cobalt steel, medium granulating from Roman Szmal. Paint number is 408. Pigment is PG50. Semi-opaque and medium granulating. And the color next to it is seems very similar, but hopefully in the swatches you will be able to see the difference. So now I'm swatching cobalt sea blue 414 in Roman Szmal. It's also granulating, it's semi-opaque, and it's made of pigment PB28. So I hope it's clear to see in the swatches, but they are actually not, well, obviously they are not identical, but I would even say they're quite different. They both have their own character. And cobalt teal is definitely a teal, has more green in it, while cobalt sea blue doesn't read as green or teal at all. This just reads like a beautiful fairy tale blue. Don't you think my descriptions are amazing today? Sorry if my descriptions are lacking. I'm just having a relaxing Sunday and thought, hey, why not do the swatches today? And then probably I will go cycling. Next up, one of my most favorite colors ever, cobalt blue. I honestly love this color in every medium, and as I said before, I don't know, I just like cobalt colors. There is a big dip in this pan because I really use this color as often as I can. It's granulating, it's semi-opaque, and it's made of PB28. Oh, what happened here? Sorry. Alright, so let's drop some water in there in a moment to help it granulate. And in the meantime, I have the phthalo blue, phthalo green on my palette just because they are such useful mixing colors. Used on their own, they are very garish, very bright, very vibrant, very saturated, very everything basically. They are like a color but on steroids. However, if you use them in mixes, you can truly create some amazing colors. And phthalo colors are light fast, they are very transparent, they lift off quite nicely. They are a bit staining, but I can still lift them off. And so this is why I put the phthalo blue, which is Roman Szmal. It's color number 103, transparent, made of pigment PB15:3. Next to it I have In the Throne blue. I have only tried it recently for the first time, but it's kind of the same story with Pearl Rubine. I was looking for a dark, intense, deep blue, or in case of Pearl Rubine, red. And when I found In the Throne blue, I just fell in love with it. This is such a stunning color, so rich. It's rich. It's a rich color. Like if colors were people, this one would be rich but understated, you know. Like old money rich. So yeah, I love In the Throne blue, and I find the name kind of funny a bit as well. In the Throne, like, I don't know, just makes me laugh. Okay, and now we are getting back to all of the other phthalo colors. I also have phthalo turquoise and phthalo green. So this is phthalo turquoise. I was wondering whether I should put phthalo turquoise or ocean blue in this palette, but ocean blue is just this pigment mixed with a little bit of brown, so it separates, and I swatched them next to each other. They are very, very similar, but the phthalo, I mean the ocean blue, separates, which actually I realized, I came to a conclusion I didn't want in my turquoise color. I didn't want for it to separate into blue and brown. Look at all those mushrooms. So I just went with phthalo turquoise, which is transparent and made of pigment PB16. And last phthalo color on my palette is phthalo green. I like mixing it with violets and making grays and blacks and moody colors. I like mixing it with the yellows and browns and reds. So like I said before, I think it's common knowledge in the watercolor world that phthalo colors are too strong, too bright and too wild to use them on their own, but they are great in mixes. So this is cobalt teal, cobalt sea blue, cobalt blue, phthalo blue, indothrone blue, phthalo turquoise, phthalo green, all from Roman Szmal. Phthalo green is of course PG7. Excuse me, PG7. And next up I have a few more greens. I might switch this selection up later, because I was thinking about adding maybe Aquarius green in here, and I was thinking about adding Undersea green from Daniel Smith, but I think I will just keep this one, which is autumn green, and you need this color, like, trust me, this color is so beautiful. This is such a rich, deep, golden, warm, beautiful, stunning green. It's made of 3 pigments, PG26, PY150 and PR122, and I think Roman Szmal did us a good one, gave us a gift making this color. It's absolutely one of my favorite greens ever. Yeah, next up I have cobalt green light. I like it because it's still bright and lively, but you can see that it's definitely more toned down. It's medium granulating. Semi-opaque. And I just really like cobalts. This is paint number 341, medium granulating, PG50, so made of exactly the same pigment, this one, cobalt green light, as cobalt teal. what in the world? How is this made of the same pigment? Uh, it's amazing. But yeah, cobalt green, I like it a lot. Next up, in this little half pan, I have the only Sennelier color on my favorites palette. This is Sennelier's Emerald Green. And I bought it a long time ago because it seemed like this specific color I wanted for one illustration. And I still have some left. And honestly, it's a very nice color. I didn't write down much info on it. It just says it's pigment PG36. But it's very transparent, as I hear most Sennelier colors are. And I find it pretty unique. It's different. It sits well in my palette. It earns its place. Next up, I have a green from Daniel Smith. And it's not undersea green. It's Cascade Green. I have them both. I have both Cascade Green and Undersea Green. And I decided against putting Undersea Green here because I suppose sometime in the future I will exchange this one, Cascade Green, maybe, for Aquarius Green, because I would much rather have Autumn Green from Roman Szmal and Aquarius Green from Roman Szmal than two Daniel Smiths. Sorry, Daniel Smith, nothing against you personally, but Cascade Green is very unique. I like it, but if I just add a little blue to this one or to Aquarius Green, I will get this very similar effect. So I don't know. Okay, so let me check. We have all of the reds, violets, blues and greens swatched. We swatched the Moody colors previously. Okay, so the only thing that's left are those earth colors. Awesome, let's go. So the first one, which can also be considered a yellow, is Natural Sienna Light. Semi-transparent. I just picked up a lot of it. Semi-transparent, made of pigment yellow 108. I also have a very similar yellow ochre or gold ochre transparent, and I like both. I think they're quite interchangeable, but for now I have Natural Sienna Light in here. Look, what a funny coincidence. The paint number is 108 and the pigment number is also pigment yellow 108. So that's my first lightest earth color. And then we have the original quinacridone gold. I mean, not the original one, but this is the quinacridone gold that Roman Szmal came out with as the first quinacridone gold in his range. Because now they also make quinacridone gold hue, which doesn't use pigment PO48. This one This quinacridone gold is made of pigment PY150 and PO48, and PO48 is the problematic pigment here because again it's going out of production. They won't be making it anymore, so we won't get this color quinacridone gold or this color, which is just PO48 quinacridone burnt sienna, anymore. I actually panicked a little bit and bought like 5 pans each of backup. I mean, they aren't very expensive, but it would be sad to just run out and not have them anymore. And I also felt the same way about Undersea Green from Daniel Smith, but they then announced that they bought like tons of PO48 and we don't have to worry about them running out. And this actually kind of turned me off of that brand. Like, maybe they knew it was getting discontinued and just bought up all of the stock. Kind of shady. So this is a beautiful color, quinacridone burnt sienna. It's listed as semi-opaque and made of pigment PO48, which is going out of stock. Sad times ahead. Next up, I have a different sienna. This one is called Italian burnt sienna. And as you can see, it's completely different. Why is there such a huge variation in burnt siennas? I like this one as well. It's very beautiful and it's not getting discontinued, not going anywhere. They say this one is transparent and made of pigment brown, PBR7. Great color, but I just love the quinacridone version better. And this quinacridone gold, one reason why I like it better than the quinacridone gold hue from Roman Szmal, which I actually have here. Let me just show you a little. I used to have just the quinacridone gold hue in my palette, but and I was planning to use it up and then switch it up for the old quinacridone gold, but I ended up not wanting to wait and just switched it anyway. And the new quinacridone gold hue is more what's the word I'm looking for? More unified in its pigment. It's like this quinacridone gold can go from very, very light, bright yellow to basically almost brown. There is huge variation in the hue you can get. And the new one is more polite, more predictable, more limited. So this is the reason why I like the old one better. Next up, Cypress Burnt Umber. Burnt umber, very useful color, very beautiful color. And I wonder if I go to Cyprus, it's not that far away, is there like a pigment mine? Where do they even get it? Is there like a field of rocks from which they make this pigment? It's called Cypress Burnt Umber, so I suppose it it's made on Cyprus, right? Or the pigment comes from Cyprus. I wonder if it's a tourist attraction, the place where they make Cyprus burnt umber. If it was, I would totally go there. Okay, so that's it, I think. We also have white, but white is not very exciting. So this is everything that I have in my favorites palette. Buff, Titanium, Hansa Yellow, Medium, Aquarius Orange, Rose D'Or from Winsor Newton, Cadmium Red Light from Schminke, Cherry Quinacridone Red from Roman Szmal, Pearl Rubine, Venetian Red, Titanium White, Opera Pink from Schminke, Quinacridone Magenta, Quinacridone Purple, Mineral Violet, Cobalt Violet Light, Cobalt Violet Deep, Potter's Pink, Cobalt Teal, Cobalt Sea Blue, Cobalt Blue, Phthalo Blue, Indothrone Blue, Phthalo Turquoise, Phthalo Green, Autumn Green, Cobalt Green Light, Emerald Green from Sommelier, Cascade Green from Daniel Smith, Misty Morning, Shadow Violet, Moonlight from Daniel Smith, Payne's Grey from Roman Szmal, Natural Sienna Light, Quinacridone Gold, Quinacridone Burnt Sienna, Italian Burnt Sienna, Cyprus Burnt Umber, Mars Black, Aquarius Black. This is how they look in the pan. This is how they look in my palette swatches. And this is how they look in the new swatches we have just made together on Arch paper. I think I will label them off screen and come back with a final shot. So this is Cobalt Teal, Cobalt Sea Blue, Cobalt Blue, Phthalo Blue, Indothrone Blue, Phthalo Turquoise, Phthalo Green, Autumn Green, which is one of the top Roman Szmal colors for me, Cobalt Green Light, Emerald Green from Sommelier, and let's add some water in here, Cascade Green, Cascade Green from Daniel Smith. Alright. And next up, Natural Sienna Light, Quinacridone Gold, Quinacridone Burnt Sienna, Italian Burnt Sienna, Cyprus Burnt Umber. And I'm actually happy that I made those swatches because I can label them now with pigment info, brand, opaqueness, granulation, and so on. And I can just have a collection of swatches for all of the watercolors I own. I have some spaces here left, and I think it's quite convenient to have just like loose chips, small little swatch sheets of all the colors you have. I did it with my acrylic gouache and I did it with my water-soluble oil paints, and it really helps me when I'm planning the painting to just put the colors I want to use together, see if they go along well, if they create a nice color story. Great idea. So I will be back in a moment with everything labeled. See you in a moment. Alright, so these are all of the swatches cut up and labeled. I hope this video was fun to watch and maybe helpful to you. If you want to pick some of those colors from Roman Szmal, Schminka and Daniel Smith, maybe my video can help you make the right decision for you. If you would like me to compare any of those colors more in depth, please let me know. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your painting. Have a nice day.